The year was 178 CE when I, Decimus Caelius Calvinus Balbinus, drew my first breath in the illustrious city of Etruria, within the ancient boundaries of Roman civilization. Born into the esteemed ranks of the patrician class, my family boasted a lineage adorned with honor and service to the empire. It was within the sacred halls of my familial abode that I imbibed the principles of duty, virtue, and the solemn rites of the Salian priesthood, a heritage passed down through generations. From the earliest days of my youth, the shadows of the past cast their long reach upon me, shaping my destiny. The echoes of my forebears, revered for their contributions to the Senate and the legions, resounded through the corridors of my mind, instilling within me a sense of purpose and obligation to carry forth the torch of Roman glory. My upbringing was one steeped in tradition and discipline, for such was the path laid before scions of noble lineage. Under the tutelage of revered tutors and scholars, I delved into the annals of history, absorbing the wisdom of the ages and honing the faculties of rhetoric and governance that would one day be requisite for a life of public service. As the years unfurled their tapestry, I ascended the rungs of education and enlightenment, culminating in the attainment of the consulship not once, but twice, a testament to the favor of the gods and the approval of my peers. Proconsulship in the distant lands of Asia Minor beckoned, offering a crucible in which to temper my mettle and test the limits of my administrative prowess. From the verdant hills of Etruria to the marble halls of the capital, my journey was one marked by diligence, ambition, and an unwavering commitment to the ideals of Romanitas. The blood that coursed through my veins bore the weight of centuries of heritage, a legacy that propelled me ever forward on the path to greatness. And thus, as I reflect upon the myriad twists of fate that have led me to this precipice of destiny, I cannot help but feel the hand of Providence guiding my steps. The stage is set, the die cast, and I stand poised to etch my name into the annals of history as a guardian of Rome's enduring legacy. The year was 238 CE, a tumultuous epoch fraught with uncertainty and unrest, when the shadows of intrigue and betrayal loomed large over the eternal city. The tyranny of Emperor Maximinus Thrax pervaded the entire empire, and as the spectre of rebellion cast its dark pall upon these lands, the Senate, that venerable bastion of Roman authority, rose to meet the challenge, invoking the ancient rites of succession to forge a path forward in these troubled times. It was amidst this crucible of chaos and upheaval that fate saw fit to thrust me into the spotlight, beckoning me to assume the mantle of leadership and guide Rome through the tempest that threatened to engulf her. The hallowed halls of the Senate reverberated with the solemn pronouncement of my ascension, as I, Decimus Caelius Calvinus Balbinus, was anointed co-emperor alongside the esteemed Pupienus Maximus. The weight of responsibility bore down upon my shoulders like the burden of Atlas, yet I stood resolute, fortified by the indomitable spirit of Roman fortitude and the conviction that duty demanded no less. With measured steps and a heart steeled against the storms of adversity, I embarked upon this odyssey of governance, determined to navigate the treacherous currents of intrigue and ambition that churned beneath the surface of imperial politics. As the sun set on the venerable city of Rome, casting its golden rays upon the marble edifices of power, I took my place upon the throne, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching shadows of uncertainty. The destiny of an empire lay in my hands, and I vowed to wield the scepter of authority with wisdom, justice, and a steadfast commitment to the welfare of the Roman people. And so, with head held high and the echoes of history as my guide, I embarked upon this grand procession of governance, prepared to confront the challenges that lay ahead with the strength of a lion and the sagacity of a statesman. For though the road may be fraught with peril, I am resolved to lead Rome into a new era of prosperity and peace, where the laurels of victory shall adorn the brow of our venerable republic for all eternity. The year of 238 CE dawned upon Rome with a weight of expectation heavy in the air, as the joint reign of Pupienus Maximus and myself, Decimus Caelius Calvinus Balbinus, commenced amidst the swirling maelstrom of political intrigue and unrest. United by the solemn bonds of duty and the shared vision of restoring stability to the empire, we stood as twin pillars of strength against the tempest that threatened to engulf us. Together, Pupienus and I assumed the mantle of leadership, forging an alliance born of necessity and tempered by the crucible of adversity. In the hallowed chambers of the Senate, where the fate of nations hung in the balance, we deliberated with the wisdom of sages and the resolve of warriors, charting a course through the turbulent waters of imperial politics with steadfast determination. Yet, even as we sought to steer the ship of state toward calmer seas, whispers of discontent and dissent simmered beneath the surface, threatening to erupt into open rebellion at any moment. Pupienus, once a city prefect revered for his administrative acumen, found himself the target of scorn and suspicion among the populace, his erstwhile popularity tarnished by the spectre of discord that loomed over our joint reign. Amidst the clamor of discontent, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of Gordian III, the young scion of a noble lineage and a beacon of promise for a weary populace yearning for change. Sensing an opportunity to quell the rising tide of unrest, Pupienus and I seized upon Gordian's youth and charisma, appointing him as Caesar in a bid to placate the restless masses and restore stability to the empire. And so, with Gordian by our side, we embarked upon a grand enterprise of governance, seeking to reconcile the competing interests of Senate and populace alike and heal the wounds that festered within the fabric of Roman society. United in purpose, yet divided by circumstance, Pupienus and I strove to uphold the sanctity of the imperial office and safeguard the future of Rome against the gathering storm that threatened to engulf us all. But fate, that fickle mistress of fortune, had other plans in store for us, as the machinations of ambition and betrayal conspired to unravel the fragile tapestry of our joint reign. In the heart of the eternal city, where the shadows of intrigue cast their long reach, the stage was set for a tragedy of epic proportions, one that would forever alter the course of history and consign our names to the annals of infamy. The year of 238 CE draws to a close, shrouded in the pall of tragedy and betrayal that befell the noble city of Rome. In the twilight hours of our joint reign, Pupienus Maximus and I found ourselves ensnared in a web of treachery spun by those who sought to seize power for their own nefarious ends. As the Praetorian Guard, those erstwhile guardians of Roman order, succumbed to the siren song of ambition, we stood as pawns in a deadly game of power and intrigue. The bonds of camaraderie that once united Pupienus and me were shattered in an instant, fractured by the whispers of suspicion and mistrust that poisoned the air. Fearing that my esteemed colleague harbored designs to usurp the throne for himself, I confronted him in a desperate bid to preserve the sanctity of our joint rule and forestall the spectre of civil war that loomed on the horizon. But alas, it was to no avail, for the die had been cast and the fate of empires sealed in blood. In the heart of Rome, where the echoes of history reverberate through the ages, the Praetorian Guard, inflamed by their own ambition and emboldened by the chaos that gripped the city, rose up in open revolt, their blades gleaming in the flickering torchlight as they laid siege to the capital itself. Caught in the crossfire of conflicting loyalties and competing ambitions, Pupienus and I stood as unwitting victims of our own downfall, ensnared in the machinations of fate that conspired to deliver us into the hands of our enemies. As the clamor of battle raged around us, we were seized by the Praetorian Guard and dragged from the safety of the Senate chambers, our pleas for mercy falling upon deaf ears as the iron grip of tyranny closed around us. In the waning moments of our lives, as the cold steel of the executioner's blade descended upon us, I could not help but reflect upon the twists of fate that had brought me to this fateful juncture. The dreams of glory and greatness that once burned bright within my breast were extinguished in an instant, swallowed up by the maw of history as Rome mourned the passing of her fallen sons. And so, as the final breath escaped my lips and the shadows of oblivion enveloped me, I found solace in the knowledge that though my life may have been cut short, my legacy would endure for eternity, a testament to the indomitable spirit of Rome and the unyielding resolve of those who dare to defy the whims of fate. In the annals of Roman history, the name of Decimus Caelius Calvinus Balbinus shall forever be enshrined as a testament to the ephemeral nature of power and the enduring legacy of those who dare to defy the machinations of fate. Though my reign was brief and beset by turmoil, the imprint of my deeds upon the sands of time remains indelible, a reminder of the fragility of mortal ambition and the inexorable march of destiny. Despite the tragic circumstances of my demise, I take solace in the knowledge that my legacy endures, a beacon of hope and inspiration for future generations who dare to dream of a world shaped by the ideals of justice, virtue, and the unwavering commitment to the common good. For though I may have faltered in my quest for greatness, the spirit of Rome lives on in the hearts of all who call her home, a flame that shall never be extinguished by the ravages of time or the capricious whims of fate. My death and those of the free peoples of Rome who stood against Thrax is a reminder that the fight for tyranny is more difficult than mitigating it in the first place. A lesson for posterity. And so, as the shadows of history recede into the mists of antiquity, let it be known that Decimus Caelius Calvinus Balbinus, though he may have fallen from grace, shall forever be remembered as a guardian of Rome's enduring legacy, a paragon of virtue in a world consumed by chaos and uncertainty. Long live Rome, and long live the memory of those who dared to defy the tyrant's grasp and carve their own destiny from the stone of fate. Thank you for watching. For more on my story and that of the 238 CE, the year of the 6 emperors, check out our related videos. My channel, known as the Renaissance Spirit, is dedicated to the pursuits of a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. Video topics encompass areas including history, politics, religion, personal development, society, culture, social and environmental justice, and other topics of liberal arts and sciences, including ancient Rome and the Roman Empire, which is a great comparison and contrast of the modern world. Topics perfect for the true modern polymath. The Renaissance ushered in a golden age and the pursuit of knowledge both lost to time and yet to be discovered. It gave birth to the Enlightenment and the Age of Reason. Embracing truth, knowledge, and an understanding and compassion for humanity opens up the world to each of us, individually, and improves all of humanity, affording us the opportunity to be better stewards of the earth and to each other. The Renaissance spirit, more than just a philosophy or style, but a style for living, learning, growing and thinking. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share. If you're looking to explore and experience what life has to offer, I'm sure you'll enjoy the other videos on my channel. Please peruse, and let me know in the comments what you get out of them and what other videos you'd like to see. But first, please take the quiz next to see if you're a Renaissance spirit. Live the Renaissance spirit.